Hello, Professor Prince. My name is Ellie Travis, and this is my persuasive speech on animal testing. It's estimated that every year, more than 50 million dogs, cats, rabbits, mice, monkeys, and other types of animals worldwide are subjected to cruel and unnecessary testing in the name of scientific research and human convenience. These innocent creatures are subjected to painful procedures, psychological trauma, and death at the hands of scientists for human progress, and sadly for much smaller pursuits including makeup and other cosmetic and household products. As compassionate and rational individuals, we must take a stand against this inhumane practice and put an end to animal testing once and for all. First, it's important to acknowledge the suffering that these animals endure inside labs and testing facilities. They live and die within a single cage in a laboratory. From rats and mice to dogs and other primates, these animals are subjected to painful testing and harsh and inhumane environments. In the U.S., according to researchers with PETA, more than 1 million animals are currently kept in laboratories, as well as an additional 100 million mice and rats, as well as countless other small animals, amphibians, and those used in agricultural experiments. They are often kept in small, cramped cages and denied access to necessities such as food, water, and natural light. They are also often given injuries or infected with diseases and certain types of cancer. These conditions cause immense stress and deep psychological trauma, which leads to abnormal behaviors and, in many cases, self-harm. In addition, it's shown that less than 3% of animals used for any type of animal testing ultimately survive. We cannot justify inflicting this kind of suffering on other living beings when it realistically could be avoided. This leads me to my next point, that animal testing is not an effective method of scientific inquiry. Due to biological and physiological differences between species, the results of animal tests often do not translate over to human subjects. For example, drugs that are found to be safe in animal trials have been known to go on to cause severe adverse reactions in humans. One example of this is found in an article by PNAS, or the National Academy of Sciences, published in 2013, titled "Genomic Responses in Mouse Models Poorly Mimic Human Inflammatory Diseases." In this article, it's described that the use of mice for testing has long been considered a cornerstone of modern biomedical research. However, there are many examples of inconsistencies, as well as the findings being proven non-viable for research purposes. In an article by Monica Martin at the World Animal Foundation titled "Animal Testing Should Be Banned Completely," it is stated that up to 95% of experimental drugs that pass animal tests go on to fail in human and clinical trials. Additionally, there are many non-animal alternatives available that are more accurate, cost-effective, and humane. In vitro testing, computer simulations, organoids, and human tissue cultures are just a few examples of alternative methods that can yield more accurate results without causing any harm. Now, beyond the ethical and practical concerns, we must also consider the moral implications of animal testing. Many of the products that are available to us today are required by law to be tested on animals, and as citizens we must support policies and politicians that will oppose such legislation and look down new avenues as far as other solutions. Many people claim that animal testing is essential to scientific progress, but as outlined by Samuel Garner, bioethicist and associate fellow at Oxford Center for Animal Ethics, in his article for NPR titled "The Necessity of Animal Research Does Not Mean It's Ethical," he states, "The scientific community needs to adopt a better attitude towards innovation and alternatives, or else their limitations will continue to be a self-fulfilling prophecy." This is science, a discipline with a remarkable history of achievement and innovation despite significant technical challenges. Where are the editorials galvanizing the scientific community to continue to innovate without animals? Where is the Human Genome Project type investment in alternatives? To say that animal models are necessary when alternatives are not being aggressively pursued seems dishonest. And given the amount of harm caused to animals in research, whether you think it's justified or not, we should all want the alternatives field to grow. We have the responsibility to treat all living beings with respect and compassion and to minimize suffering wherever possible. To subject animals to painful and fatal experiments simply because we have the power to do so is a fundamentally immoral act. It is a betrayal of our role as inhabitants and a violation of our duty to protect the weak and vulnerable. In conclusion, the use of animals in scientific testing is a practice that must be abolished. We cannot continue to justify the cruel and unnecessary suffering of millions of innocent creatures for the sake of scientific progress. It is time to embrace alternative methods that are more accurate, more effective, and more ethical. Let us take a stand against animal testing and work together to create a world where all living beings are treated with the compassion and respect they deserve. Thank you.